This relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch, I'll be gone in a...
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. I'm Franco, and today we have a special guest, none other than Mr. Winston Farrell. Winston will be joining us this morning to do the chat session. Flavius, I'll be linking up with Flavius in a few minutes. So in the meantime, if you got to get your tea, coffee, whatever drink that you have this time of the morning, go ahead. If you got a refill, go ahead too. We'll be right back.
Who won't play your game? To all you move, you off me way to the core. Sayonara, and girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves.
Hi, this is Pam Hall, and I'm inviting you to hang out with Flavius and Franco on the Real Stuff podcast. They're such great company.
Walking on sand and holding your hand, feel like a tourist in my own homeland, in my own homeland, enjoying the bright, the warm sunlight. Oh my God, what a beautiful sight, in my own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in a paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west, I couldn't care less. Ooh, this place, it is definitely blessed. My own homeland. North or south, feel free to wander about. You can jump, dance, or sing and shout in my own homeland. Give yourself a treat, a few days or a week, and you will see just what I mean. Just take my advice, so everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend. vibrating reggae, reggae, reggae. Very sky, rock, a steady mental. A quadrillion, a kumina. You can fill your belly with the coconut jelly, mango, papa, cane and guinea. There's a key in a saltfish and a roast yam and banana. Curried goat and a managed water. The Sunday special if you like a revival. Catholic, Baptist or Pentecostal. The house of Jah is there, have no fear. Walk right in and get your share. I'm walking on sand. I'm holding your hand. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland. In my own homeland. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland. A homeland, my own homeland. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland. My own homeland.
Mix up a guan, blend up a guan. That shawty never see this from Shibon. Social media them love the most, but and everything you fi post. I get hype and a boast, Lord. And everything glitter you go put it on Twitter. You fi smart and clever, and everything you fi share. I go on like clown of the year. Don't bring your life nightmare over likes and share. Don't show your business out there. Cause this I wanna read epidemic. Everybody get oof on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Girls send a man a picture in a bathroom of beer. Next thing it a line I get rant and rave. Some people don't know if they post. Mama read over foreign and never get divorced. I Jamaica post it online and the wife sister see no way black up in a jail over stupidity. You shouldn't post. I get hype on a post, lad. Even if you like Twitter, do not put it on Twitter. You be smart and clever, and everything you will share. Don't become the next clown of the year. Don't bring your life nightmare over likes and share. Don't show your business out there. Now everybody a target, everything I expose. Wanted man get caught through him a tweet and a post. Media junkie no east, laptop and phone. So the thief check your page and know when you owe man. Pull a big job and get Western free. Not a source, no suspect him take the Kyle of money. But he buy him girlfriend of a suit and Gucci. And she post it online and say some things not for post. I get hype and a post, lad. And everything glitter, you go put it on Twitter. You be smart and clever, and everything you fi share. Now one like say you don't care. Cause even if you're vexed with your man, I put it on Instagram, work it out. Cause I know yes you can, yes you can. Man tell your wife him gonna foreign on a business trip. And every day I'm calling tell her how him love and miss. Until her friends and her some mix with some Instagram pics. With a husband and a girl that hold hands and kiss. My gosh, you grow your kids just like a parent should. Try to shield them from the bad and teach them all that's good. Can you imagine someone sending you a viral clip with your daughter and your son and do some spiral list? You shouldn't post. I get hype and a post, lad. And everything glitter, you go post it on Twitter. You feel smart and clever, and everything you feel share. I go on like clown of the year. Don't bring your life nightmare over likes and share. Don't show your business out there. You shouldn't post. I get hype and a post, and everything you feel share. You go on like say you don't care, and everything you feel post. I get hype and a post, and everything you feel share. Go on like say you don't the blues. I get hype and a boost. And everything you feel share. One like say you don't.
I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. I really love you, baby. Want you forever. Really love you, baby. I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. I really love you, baby. Want you forever. Really love you, baby. Love I will give you is so powerful, so special. Under your skin it will flow through your veins. My love's insane. This love I give, I just can't stop. It's in your face, even when you turn your back. And just like a magnifying glass, the heat that I transmit will melt your heart. Oh, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. Really love you, baby. Want you forever and ever. Really want you, baby. Whoa. Ooh, forever and ever. Yeah. I know you're wondering why my love is so strong. It's 'cause I see something in you pushing me on. The day you try to chase my love away is when you know my love was meant to stay. 'Cause this love I give, I just can't stop. It's in your face, oh yeah. When you turn your back, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you home with me forever. Oh, really want you, baby. Want you forever. Really want you, baby. Love I will give you is so powerful, special. Under your skin it's
Hi, this is Pam Hall, and I'm inviting you to hang out with Flavius and Franco on
this
the
love I
Real
give,
Stuff
I just
Podcast.
can't
There's
stop.
such great company.
It's in your face, even when you turn your back. Hey, and just like a magnifying glass, hey, the heat that I transmit will melt your heart. Hey, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you home to be with me forever, yeah.
Hi, this is Pam Hall, and I'm inviting you to hang out with Flavius and Franco on the Real Stuff Podcast. They're such great company.
Pandemic kill.
This is Mr. Charlie Cross with this COVID-19.
It has no fear for God and it has no fear for man. I hope you understand the situation's very bad. All around the world here comes a COVID-19 song. I made it very simple so we all could sing along. I chose this word so careful, making sure nothing goes wrong. We know it's bad but we can't give up, together we are strong. This virus is not going any place anytime soon. For all we know it could still be around next June. And if we are not careful, man could take it to the moon. Millions are infected and afraid to get injected. All around the world here comes a COVID-19 song. I made it very simple so we all could sing along. I chose these words so careful, making sure nothing goes wrong. We know it's bad but we can't give up, together we are strong.
You're listening to Radio International, and it's the COVID song right here on your radio. It's the COVID song right here on your radio.
Yeah, na na na. Pandemic kill old people and young people the same. Wear a mask, I beg you all, please in Jesus' name. It has no fear for God and it has no fear for man. I hope you understand the situation's very bad. All around the world here comes the COVID-19 song. I made it very simple so we all could sing along. I chose these words so careful, making sure nothing goes wrong. We know it's bad but we can't give up, together we are strong.
It's the COVID song.
This virus is not going any place anytime soon. For all we know it could still be around next June. And if we are not careful, man could take it to the moon. Millions are infected and afraid to get injected. All around the world here comes the COVID-19 song. I made it very simple so we all could sing along. I chose this word so careful, making sure nothing goes wrong. We know it's bad but we can't give up.
You're listening to proper representation right here on your radio. Keep it locked and right here. This is where it really matters. We've got the best sound in town and all around. Here we go.
I had a dream, but they made it seem that nothing good could happen for me. So I took that vaccine and turned it all around, and it helped me get my feet back on the ground. So I'm moving up again now. Yes, I'm moving up again. Yes, I'm moving, moving, moving up again now. I'm moving up again now. Yes, I'm moving up again. Yes, I'm moving, moving, moving up again now. They thought I was done and gone, but I'm coming back like a storm in a teacup. At that me I won. So if you wanna move up as well, it doesn't matter how far you fell. Join the movement and help me sing this song. Oh, I'm moving up again now. Yes, we're moving up again. Oh, we're moving, moving, moving up again now. We're moving up again now. I'm moving up again. Oh, I'm moving, moving, moving up again now.
Once again, you're listening to proper representation right here on your radio. Keep it locked in right here. This is where it really matters. We have the best sounds in town right here on your radio, man. All right. Here we go.
Set your goal, Climb out to the hall, don't sit down, move around, use your head, think instead. Plant a tree, set yourself free, read a book, get hooked, clean your room, sweep it with a broom. Dust, dust, don't cuss, stay in school, that's cool. Keep moving up again now, oh we're moving up again, oh we're moving, moving, moving up again now, now. We're moving up again now, oh we're moving up again, oh we're moving, moving, moving up again now. I had a dream, but they made it seem that nothing good could happen for me.
Yes, indeed. The music of the great Millie Small. Oh, my sugar plum plum. You hear it right here in the Real Stuff podcast. We have Flavius with us on the line right about now. Morning, Flavius. Flavius. Morning, Flavius. Where you at, Flavius?
Yeah,
You're live and direct.
Morning, Franco. Morning, viewers. Yes, live and direct from Antigua and Jamaica.
Okay, what you have for us?
What's on your side this morning?
My side, cloudy. You know, look like we're gonna have some showers. You know, not a bright day.
Oh, we've been
today.
having that last 5 days. Yeah, well, we've been having that for the last 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what we get this time
So
of the
what's
year.
this going to what did you know? Or quick did you know?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, we are looking at some special spots around the Caribbean, and we have one more for you this morning, and this is the Oystin Fish Fry. Oystin is a fishing village in Barbados, and they started this fish fry on Friday nights. Now it's weekend nights, you know, it's been extended. And it's very, very popular and well supported. Oystin is an active fishing town on the south coast and is a hub of activity and weekend nights. On Friday nights in particular, the big thing is to go to the fish fry at Oystin Bay Gardens. The food is the main draw. Excellent fish, tuna, swordfish, marlin, mai, flying fish, lobster, chicken, served in an extremely informal setting. You can get your fish grilled or fried, depending on which vendor you. It's all cooked on the spot in front of you. Seating is plentiful. It is rustic and is among the diners. The old timers are playing dominoes. But there are also arts and crafts on sale, including jewelry, pottery, ceramics, leather craft, wood carving, straw, all kind of things that you can buy there. There are two sources of music where I just need to be upgraded about the music. I'll tell you about that shortly. Food is usually available from 7 p.m. But if you go early, say 5 p.m., you can walk on the pier and perhaps see a great sunset. Collect your fish scraps from the vendors in the fish market and feed the turtles. Now, my experience at Oystin is that what I love about it, it is divided up into different sections, not necessarily physically divided, but you know, it's separated somehow. I can walk from one area to the next, and it's of course of events. So all the music are family music, but as you move from one section to another, what you hear is a different kind of music. Music controls the sections. So you will have the soca in one area and reggae and, you know, Caribbean music, other Caribbean music in another area. And then you will have jazz in another area and probably some old R&B classic in another area. And it's really big and spread out. And of course, the food is excellent. So this is one of our not to be missed spots. Oystin Fish Festival on weekends in Barbados. Take it away, Franco.
Did You Know is brought to you courtesy of Slowly Jamaica, uniquely Caribbean. So in case you didn't know, now you know.
Put down the guns and start shooting.
Yeah, you.
I would like for all of us to believe in non-violence.
Judge, I hear my prayer.
I think we've got to see that a riot is the language of the unheard.
What will they tomorrow be if there's no yesterday? With every gunshot I die. With every mother and child. Wiping back my bloody eyes. Asking the question why. You man on the block with the stock. Hustling we to make a need, what a flop. Shotty in them waist, screw face. Pissing them pants in anger. You can't beat the devil, Mr. Rebel. Don't try to play that game. We've come a long way from Eden. Who will take the blame?
I cry.
With every gunshot I die.
I cry.
With every mother and child.
I cry.
Wiping back my bloody eyes.
I cry.
Asking the question why. Checklist the family in crisis. Another mother crying for injustice. My boy, he na damn bully. I say me son, he na bad boy. So they pass the blame on to the fathers. And the drugs and the church and the school. Not finding the hidden reality. Them hold fast to a false morality.
I cry.
With every gunshot I die.
I cry.
With every mother and child.
I cry.
Wiping back my bloody eyes.
I cry.
Asking the question why.
The mood of the Negro community now is one of urgency. I think we've got to see that a riot is the language of the unheard.
In the quiet of the night, pow pow, and the news in the air blows bitter. Another youth man, blam blam, means another baby day without a father. It's another young girl without a lover. It got to stop, sing this song for the mother. And mama, hold your belly, band it tight, cause your son ain't coming home tonight.
I would like for all of us to believe in non-violence. I cry. I cry. I cry. I cry. The mood of the Negro community now is one of urgency. I think we've got to see that a riot is the language of the unheard.
I Cry, the video of Mr. Winston Farrell. We're going to be linking up with Mr. Farrell in a few minutes, so keep it locked, don't go nowhere.
This is Pam Hall, and I'm inviting you to hang out with Flavius and Franco on the Real Stuff podcast. They're such great company. This is your very own sports, music, and lifestyle podcast with Flavius and Franco. Welcome.
Yes, indeed. Tomorrow, our guest is none other than Miss Deborah Walrand. And she's a teacher, 11 years and more. And she'll be joining us tomorrow to talk to us about what's happening with school children, how they're coping in this pandemic. Waiting to link up with Mr. Farrell. So in the meantime, just sit back, relax. If you don't get your drink, go ahead and go get your drink. If you have to refill, go refill, then come back. We will be right back in a few moments.
On my mind. the sweetest loving ever come my way. Do anything I say when he loves me this way. The only thing I say is, oh mama, keep on loving me so bad boy.
Yes, Mr. Farrell. Morning, Winston. How you doing? How you doing?
I did there. I there.
You're there.
One of them mornings, you know.
Yes. I know, sir. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for rising to see the sun, although I have not really gone out yet for the day. Still working from home this week. So.
All right. So you haven't stepped outside to see the rising sun yet?
But no, just peeked out through the windows, really.
Well, at least you glimpse it.
Yeah, I know it's there. So I can see it through the windows of my life. Yes, man.
So what's the weather like in Barbados? What's the weather like in Barbados this morning? What's it like in Barbados?
This morning is slight overcast this morning, with the sun showing its head. As it relates to the country itself, we have just had a kind of spike in our COVID numbers, some small clusters. So we are more or less in a kind of pause situation.
Yes.
As we try to sort this out and ride out this second wave that we're seeing. Yeah.
As they say, it's the second wave. Yeah.
One of caution right now, and trying to manage the situation. Yeah.
All right. Well, we all wait for this to pass, because we know say it shall pass, There's a time for everything.
It too shall pass.
It too shall pass.
Yes.
There's a time for everything.
Yeah. I see. When we get a little complacent, then we fall back into, or should I say, fall forward into another hole, another pit, another moment where we have to pause again and kind of dig ourselves out of it,
Yeah, that's true. We thank you for being here with us this morning, and we just want to,
Yeah. Look forward to it. It was another opportunity to interact with my people. I haven't had a lot of interaction with the Jamaican public for a while. I haven't been to Jamaica in eons. I'm embarrassed to say it. When last I was in Jamaica, I was in Jamaica in the 90s. Sometime in the 90s, and I've never been back to Jamaica since then. Although I've stayed in constant contact with Jamaica and Jamaican situations. I have some pretty good friends and colleagues from Jamaica. So I don't know if there's an opportunity maybe to shout out some people like Marvin George over there at the Edna Manley School, in theater. Bello, I noticed you had Bello on a couple sessions ago.
Yeah. Bello was here. Yes, Friday Bello was here.
Blacker.
Okay.
And then it's my Yassas. I was fortunate to do in the summer the Jamaican Poetry Festival with Yassa Safari and a number of very interesting poets from around the world there in August. So that's another connection with Jamaica. Just shouting out, I know you two, you're also going through your battles with this deadly coronavirus. And the challenges are almost kind of similar in terms of responses to it. So
Okay.
We have a saying here: no retreat, no surrender.
True.
From our health minister, which is being echoed in some stuff that I'm doing now presently with some young people. But no retreat, no surrender. savoir out there.
True. All right, for those who don't know who Winston Farrell is, you want to tell them who Winston is?
Yes, well, yeah, Winston. Who is Winston? I struggle every day to try to define who is Winston. Winston is a creator. Winston is a father, a brother. Winston is a creative person, a creative being. I work presently with the Barbados Youth Advance Corp, and I've been working with that program for a while. And its former name, which was the Barbados Youth Service, a program that works with young people between 16 and 22. It is a kind of balanced program between kind of military kind of structure and a softer arts and counseling program, basically trying to look at discipline amongst youth, and as well as preparation for work and civic duty, really. It is for a lot of young ones who you might say might have fallen through the cracks or that just need to get that foot on. So that's my main work. That's Winston Farrell's main work, and something that he's been working at for the last, let's say, 24 years within the system.
Okay.
But I'm really a theater practitioner and poet. And I'm fortunate that in my job, I work as the cultural arts officer, responsible for developing, designing, and facilitating the craft program within that, the craft modules within that program. Like I said, outside of that, I am a theater practitioner, and my training is in acting. I started out as an actor, really.
Okay.
Acting, and then in my formative days, I realized that in small islands like ours, we can't really live as actors as such, you know. We need to get some bread on the table. And strange enough, I kind of became more multidisciplined. So I had a real interest in theater for development. Community theater and working with people in general. So I found that I started to utilize my drama skills as a means of working with different target groups. For example, there are opportunities where we did some stuff in schools. There are opportunities where we work in communities. There are opportunities where we work with specific target groups like senior citizens and at-risk people. And I was learning all the while how I can use drama, not just as a performance tool, but as a tool for personal and social development. And that is something that allowed me to go on over the years and develop it as a practice. Starting out with doing a number of workshops with Augusto Boal across Canada, doing some important foundation work, I must say, with Jamaica School of Drama, because it was coming out of a series of workshops with the Jamaica School of Drama, people like Tom Cross, who at the time was part of that head of studies, director of studies at the time, and people like Hortense Lindsay, I think her name was, and the late Dennis Scott, among others, came to Barbados, and they did some workshops across a number of areas: acting, drama for personal development, puppetry, directing, acting, and community drama, which was the one that really took my fancy. So I ended up, at least developing my studies in the area of theater arts and with a focus on theater for development. So I have a master's in theater development studies from the University of Leeds. But doing this work would have allowed me to do a number of interactions and in some cases a few consultancies in terms of working in that direction. The fun about me is that I also write plays and I direct and above all I write poetry. And I'm on the page and off the page. So I'm kind of multidiscipline kind of person who sometimes can get pretty busy with my art. So 24 hours in a day sometimes might not be enough for the general.
Okay. So you say you don't.
So that's a part of me from that's a little bit in terms of my art.
It's good. It's good because multi-talent is really, what is, best for artists. Because we're all artists, so if we're not multi-talent, then we cannot, survive. Because I remember growing up as a child, they usually say that an artist never make no money, Yeah, they always say that the artists never make no money.
The struggle continues for artists, especially in small island states where people just see the art as something, have a little fun. And then there's certain elements of art that is on a higher scale in terms of how it's treated in terms of funding, how it's treated in terms of even public response. And it's interesting to watch to see how there's certain forms of entertainment that really gets the corporate support because they have, I guess, more mass appeal. And that we don't spend enough time working on those forms of art that are equally as important and sometimes even more important to developing people. We're not investing enough in that area of art for development of arts, for our consumption in terms of consciousness raising and getting people to probably do the right thing, which some might argue is relative,
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that,
Look what's happening in the USA today.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. So it's crazy. Some crazy stuff going on, But we know it. All of this, as we say, it shall pass. We will overcome.
It is interesting this morning, and I get up in a second wave in Barbados, and I'm not feeling. I am asking myself, can I make it through? Because I made it through the last lockdown and stuff, and this is not even a full lockdown in Barbados. This is a partial kind of curfew in the night, kind of restriction of crowds and stuff during the day. But we got through the lockdown and stuff in the first wave, and we got through that primarily because of our creativity and our desire to create within the pandemic, because it allowed that I needed somehow to channel all the shit that was happening around me and how I was responding and feeling that into creating some really beautiful stuff over the last couple of months in terms of on-page poems and actual recordings, which I have shared with you guys. And I'm coming into a second wave, and I'm wondering, am I going to be able to survive this again if it should get this bad? And it isn't that bad, and I'm already feeling, the pressure of it. And I'm not sure if the art is enough to sustain in a second wave. But God is good, and we continue to put a smile.
I think it's something the people need that at this time, I think the people need the art because they're indoors, and the virtual. Most of them are watching virtual stuff now online, virtual concert. Everything is virtual. So if they can get the virtual art, that is great. You know?
Well, yeah, thanks for the encouragement, because like I'm saying, within the first wave, yeah, we utilized a lot of that. We were online, we developed on Facebook and Instagram, I think about 16, 17 part series called the COVID Corner, where I read poems and I launched my new music, and I read poems from other Barbadian and Caribbean people, and you know, that a lot of that kept me strong, and to know that I was making a contribution and using my art not just for my own personal energy and strength, but sharing that with the world, and you know, going into the hearts and the houses of people and new people in some cases, right? And I'm saying that a second wave bouncing back at me, I'm hoping to find that same energy and even more to push. Presently, I am ambivalent. With each day, I have to take it day by day. I'm like, okay, it's a new day. Let's do this. It's harder the second time around. I'm saying, you know?
Yeah,
but
it's true. It's true. It's truly hard, you know.
And it should be easy, because you say you went straight walls. It should be easy. But I'm finding, contrary to that, it's feeling harder the second time around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I see the project that you did, because you say you did it during the COVID year, and the one that I like was the song, the video. I tried to show the video earlier, but you know, it wasn't coming through as pretty as I wanted. But anyway, I'm going to play the audio in a few moments. But I cry, and it's appealing to the guns. Because, you know, in I don't know if you guys are hearing the news in Barbados or in Jamaica, but lately there have been a lot of drive-by shooting happening in Miami. I mean, there's not a day that don't pass when you don't have a drive-by shooting, and most of these victims are children. Because, you know, it happened last night. They had a drive-by, 3 people got shot.
Wow.
Among them was
this in Miami, you're saying, yeah?
In Miami. You understand me? And it's about the gun, and I'm wondering, why is it the gun now just become, you know, it's like that's the only tool they know to use to solve a problem. No man is reasoning no more. They're not reasoning out nothing no more. The solution for them is
too hard to
reason.
Like, taking the easy way out. Yeah, too hard. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say maybe it's where we're at. It's where we're at right now, and the sensationalization of the gun isn't something that just started yesterday. This is something that we've been fed over years. You know what I mean? So it has come full circle to our children who have now glamorized even more so. The movie has come alive. We're not just watching this stuff now and it's being fed to us on the media. We now create our own movies. A man can get up there with his cell phone and just click everything. He's in his own movie. So times have changed. And information is moving fast. Everything is moving faster. And unfortunately, we still have a lot of minds out there that have not moved as fast, and unfortunately, still kind of eclipsed in a world that suggests that violence and the whole idea of gangsterism is the way forward.
Yeah,
it's very unfortunate. And another thing that COVID has done is it has allowed us to pause. So I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, you know what I mean? A pause to squeeze out some of the ooze and the muck that's been buried in us. Look, since the COVID has happened, look what has happened. You had the whole movement of the Black Lives Matter that raised a lot of the social injustice issues. Now you have this whole thing of these. They say that what you saw the other day Capitol Hill is not the face of America. Yes, it is not the face of America. It is the belly of America. So these things are now oozing and coming out to actually ruin the face of that nation. So these things are coming to the fore. The whole idea of violence and looking at the root causes of this violence. So it is not just that a group of people just get up and decide, hey, we're gonna be violent, we're gonna be bad. This is part of a fracture that goes deep within our subconscious or DNA as of ancestors. I mean, as descendants of the transatlantic slavery, we're still suffering from those scars, and those scars are manifesting in particular ways. And then it's compounded by the whole economics of the world, and so it's they're talking about perfect storm. We can see how all of these things are coming to a formation and creating this clear and present danger that we have to battle through.
Yeah, that's true. And the other song, Africa, that you did that also during the COVID time?
Yeah, well, before you get to Africa, there's Just Us and Them.
Yeah.
Which is the track that runs deep in terms of the COVID period, because it was a response to the George Floyd shooting.
Okay.
A poem that we wrote and we did around a couple of the demonstrations here in Barbados. And then I must, on this podcast, shout out the arranger and producer of those two tracks, I Cry and Just Us and Them, none other than James D. Lovell. And in the combination of DJ Hurricane, who also was instrumental in terms of packaging and managing the whole process in terms of More Lava Entertainment. So I want to really shout out these two individuals and this movement, let's call them a movement, and the work of James, which is phenomenal. Blessed love. So those two, the Justice and Them, which is the George Floyd response, and then Africa. Africa is an interesting mix because it represents two pieces of work. It's part of a poem called Africa, which is on my first or second album, and the work of Africa Reparations, a track by Sir Martyr's a reggae band. Please, sorry. Let me call you back. Sir Martyr Reese, a Venezuelan reggae band, number one Venezuelan reggae band. And sometime a couple of years ago when I was in Venezuela, I was in their studio, and I liked the track at the time they were making their album. And I heard this track and I did the poem to the track. And then sometime after, we had a little discussion about the possibility of their doing a collab. So on their album, we have this collab of my poem and their track. And so I have launched that track directly here in Barbados during the COVID period as well, to add that to the collection of work that we have produced during the period of the COVID here in Barbados. So that's another interesting combination, Africa reparation, Africa repatriation, combination between the poet Farrell and the St. Martyr's band. Of course, during this whole lockdown period, we took a look at our performance poetry, because I've spent a lot of time in the theater, writing, directing, performing, and I will have done some recordings of my poetry. It will be called in Barbados rhythm poetry. While in Jamaica, the reference is dub poetry. We refer to the rhythm and poetry here in Barbados as rhythm poetry.
Rhythm poetry.
And so I would have done some work over the years, but I'm still, and I'll shout it out and say here, I'm still not happy in terms of sometimes the response to the work by jocks on radio in terms of playing that work alongside a lot of the mainstream things. So over the years, we have worked very hard to make sure that we've brought a quality of music to the table, so that it can sustain itself and represent itself on air. So this year, basically, what we have done is decided to bite the bullet, and we released a new track. Over a 3-month period, we released 3 tracks. I think it was July, August, and September. So we were able in November to get the I Cry track played across radio stations due to a collaboration with the Justice Unit here in Barbados, who was celebrating Crime Month. And I thought that the piece was significant and important enough to work for them as a jingle. So we had 3/4 of the song playing across all radio platforms regularly during the day. If not for that, I don't know. This is January, and I haven't really been checking out to see what has been happening in terms of the music on radio. We have now a Barbadian radio station, a station dedicated to full 100% Barbadian music.
Okay.
And I'm hopeful that poets,
that is good.
Enough, but the poets.
Okay.
From my last track, they have been enjoying some good rotation. So I expect that will continue and even get better as we continue to kind of juggle with the other radio stations to give a little bit more support to that kind of work.
I want to let them hear Just Us and Them, and then we come back to you. All right?
Yes,
I'm going to make them hear Just Us and Them. Right, So let's lick Just Us and Them.
Rip me away from Villa. Make me work for white man. Rip me away from me civilization. Make me work on a damn plantation. Africa.
Voy a volver. Quiero volver a África.
African, you better know yourself. I said, African, you better know yourself.
Felicidad no será aplacada.
Come for we in a ship at night, and them a pack me rough, and them a pack me tight. Leaving half we behind before them a get to what them going. I know the
Mi pensamiento y mi alma estarán allá.
free up yourself, brother African. Free up yourself now.
Quiero volver, voy a volver.
Free up
Quiero
yourself
volver a África.
Put him in England, him or Englishman. Put him in America, got them Yankee man.
Entre chozas y
I
risas.
said, African, you better know yourself.
Haciendo culto al sol, disfrutando de la libertad y el amor.
Development are rising all around. The country got a nail to the ground. He walking and he walking. He don't know what he walking for. He saying that he free, but his cycle's never them wrong. Africa, you better know yourself. Africa, know yourself.
Quiero volver, voy a volver.
Dubwise.
Quiero volver a África.
African, you better know yourself.
Quiero volver a África.
All black people have to unite to liberate Africa. You must stand and fight. You can't run away from yourself. People, you can't run away from yourself. African, you better know yourself. Right, don't teach them wrong. Africa, you better know yourself. Africa, know yourself.
Quiero volver, voy a volver.
Dubwise.
Quiero volver a África.
African, you better know yourself.
Quiero volver a África.
All black people have to unite to liberate Africa. You must stand and fight. You can't run away from yourself. People, you can't run away from yourself. African, you better know yourself. African, you better know yourself. Wow.
Yes, indeed. Just as I them. We're gonna play I Cry, and then we get back. Actually, yeah, we're gonna play I Cry, and then get back to Mr. Winston Farrell.
I would like for all of us to believe in nonviolence.
Judge, I hear my prayer.
I think we've got to see that a riot is the language of the unheard.
What will they tomorrow be if there's no yesterday? With every gunshot I die. With every mother and child. Wiping back my bloody eyes. Asking the question why. Youth man on the block with the stock. Hustling we to make a need, what a flop. Shotty in them waist, screw face. Pissing them pants in anger. You can't beat the devil, Mr. Rebel. Don't try to play that game. We've come a long way from Eden. Who will take the blame? With every gunshot I die. With every mother and child. Wiping back my bloody eyes. Asking the question why. Checklist the family in crisis. Another mother crying for injustice. My boy, he na damn bully. I say me son, he na bad boy. So them pass the blame on to the fathers. And the drugs and the church and the school. Not finding the hidden reality. Them hold fast to a false morality.
I cry.
With every gunshot I die.
I cry.
With every mother and child.
I cry.
Wiping back my bloody eyes.
I cry.
Asking the question why.
The mood of the Negro community now is one of urgency. I think we've got to see that a riot is the language of the unheard.
In the quiet of the night, pow pow, and the news in the air blows bitter. Another youth man, blam blam, meets another baby day without a father. It's another young girl without a lover. It got to stop, sing this song for the mother. Mama,
you haven't
hold your
played
belly.
Justice. You
Band
played
it tight, cause your son ain't
Africa.
coming home tonight.
And now you're playing I Cry. But Justice is the other one.
Yes, Winston, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, we come back. We come forward.
Yes,
we're just
man.
beating out a little bit of I Cry again.
Yeah.
Because I like the video of it. The message.
Yeah.
The message
you
is
had
clear.
introduced Justice Africa as Just Us. Africa is the track with the Venezuelan collaboration.
Okay, we'll play that before we leave. We'll play that one before we leave.
Yeah, Just Us.
Okay.
Which is the. So yeah, here we are.
So in what you said, the pandemic brings out some good creative materials because you were able to lock down, put your thoughts, to work. And you materialize some great tracks.
Yeah, and some interesting poems as well, which we are looking at. And we've already had a couple published in a couple of journals.
What is poetry like in Barbados? Is it because you call it rhythm? What?
Yeah, we do. We have a tradition of rhythm poetry and rhythm
poetry. Yeah.
And then we have poets. We have and spoken word artists. A lot of the young practitioners endeavor to create within genre spoken word, which is very expressive and very alive and sometimes a lot more narrative. What spoken word offers is a great opportunity of commentary within a very creative, expressive form of wordplay. Using some elements of oral tradition in terms of, rhythm and rhyme in and out rhyme, a number of different ways to express the word and to make it come alive and to inspire. Which remind me of that period of the mid-70s and during the 80s of the role of the what we call at the time the dub poets of the day, the Mutas, the Okus, the Gene Breezes, the LKJs, the Rapso in Trinidad, Brother Resistance, the Creole stuff of people like Rasmore and quite a number of others from within the Eastern Caribbean and the Francophone Caribbean. And of course in Barbados, people like the late Ricky Paris and the late Michael Foster, along with people like Aja, going by the name Aja now, Adusa Andwele, who just had his virtual concert, but you might have seen being advertised around social media. And people like Margaret Gill, practitioners of what we call the rhythm poetry, how we try to lift, and it all started basically outside of those influences or influencers like LKJ, like Muta, who were doing their thing. It all started to make sense for me when I started to do some stuff in schools, where we were trying to get the 4th and 5th formers more excited by poetry. And because the type of poems outside of the few Caribbean poets, very few Caribbean poets that they were exposed to, were more exposed to what we might want to call the dead poets, or poets that were coming from other cultures, that were foreign, that were using images and stuff that weren't relevant, and was creating a type of poem that was more or less dead on the page. So when we went into the schools, we were more or less looking to see how we can make poetry more exciting, and how we can get young people on board in terms of that. Hence, we were using rhythm poetry in a way. I was using rhythm poetry as my kickstart to first of all excite the young people about poetry, and then secondly to get them then to, you know what I mean, go beyond just the rhythm poetry once they get an understanding of the poem and how exciting it could be, how it could reflect their reality, and how it can be exponent of their extension of their own self through language and circumstance. That it began to make sense. This is important. This is important too because it is engaging, it is relevant, and it's current. So during that period, the poetry was, it was said that when there are no world conflicts and no real social issues at play, that the poets are rather silent, and that's mainly because a lot of the works was centered around current political issues, political and social issues, like L.K. Jail work. A lot of his work is centered around Brixton riots. You know what I mean? A lot of the work is structured around struggle, social resistance, Black consciousness, you know what I mean? Free Mandela, you know what I mean? The spiral economic situation that was happening in the world in the late 70s with the oil crisis. And evaluation of people's dollars from different, you know what I mean? So the work reflect a lot of that struggle, that mid-70s, early 80s work, coming right down through to the whole struggle of Free Mandela. And you know what I mean, here in Barbados, a lot of our work was used to try to engender social consciousness and historic consciousness in terms of keeping into people's psyche, keeping focus in people's psyche, things like the importance of Emancipation Day, the importance of the riots, the importance of African Liberation Day.
True.
A lot of the work in the early 70s, in the early 80s, a lot of that work was engendered by the poets through the creative arts. Creative Writers Guild at the time and the Association of Literary Arts Guild, working in conjunction with the Community Development Department most of the times. So in this time, I think a lot of that energy in the using spoken word is going to be important going on in this time in terms of youth having a voice in their spaces, in their various spaces.
True.
Be it be political, social.
Let me ask you something, Winston.
Alphabet community.
What is your take on the virtual concert, the virtual events going on? What is your take on it?
My take is that I would like to see how I can get involved and benefit from doing some work virtually, because this year last year I would have had some bookings to make some tours, to do some performances in some places, and all of that had to be canceled. And I was still fortunate to have been able to at least do 3-4 online presentations at festivals who went virtual at the time. And I've observed other genres looking at, and in some cases being successful in putting together virtual packages on different platforms. I myself have not really.
You haven't done any yet.
Gotten a grip of how best I will want to go through with my package.
Well, you have to talk to Flavius.
Yeah. to see how that will work and how we can monetize it. That's the critical part of it. Because I've been doing some virtual stuff, which I can either upgrade or expand. I had opportunity to do some work with the live band in November. It's something we wanted to continue doing. So, you know what I mean? We're looking to explore and exploit where possible the opportunities to do things virtually, because that apparently is going to be a part of the new normal.
Yeah, that's the new norm now. Whether we like it or not, that's the new norm.
Even in terms of the theater, I've observed that, here in Barbados, I've observed at least 2 virtual online productions that kind of combine reading with other technical stuff that made for interesting watching, should I say, entertainment. So it seems like it's one of the ways or one of the pathways to go.
Yeah, because I know a lot of artists have spoken to quite a few, and they are not too keen on it, because it's definitely some don't get the vibes, because they're just basically in a recording studio or an open place, and they do a recording and might give it to the promoter, or if they're doing it live with a band or whatever, they don't feel that vibe because they feed off an audience.
Yeah, I know. I know it is a challenge, even in the real world, as a theater practitioner, as an actor, as a performer, you work harder. The smaller the audience, the harder you work. That's the bottom line. The smaller the audience, the harder you work. The bigger the audience, the easier the work. Because you have more people catching the vibe. Smaller the audience, the harder it works. So I could understand.
So just imagine no audience. You have to work twice as hard.
To do something really exciting to a blank, empty room. You know what I mean? I just feel that it is quite possible, because here's where you switch the plug from, well, not the plug, but you switch the focus from an audience in a big room to the cameras, so you're performing for the camera, and that is something that performers who struggle with that issue would have to.
So it's like doing a video shoot.
Then to understand that it's a different audience, and you need to understand the difference and work with it.
It's like doing a video shoot then, because when you do a video shoot,
it would be.
You're working for the camera,
There you go, work hard, you know what I mean? The only difference is that in a video shoot, you might have the luxury of having more than one take. In this regard, it is live, and that is part of the new normal. I think it is what it is. So just make it nice as you do it.
How the youths are catching on to poetry? What do you see?
Well, I would say from my vantage point here in Barbados, if I was to compare the 2 movements, the movement of the rhythm poetry era of the late 70s, mid to late 80s, if I was to compare that period to the present period of the new millennials and their involvement with this, well, I wouldn't say new, because it's not really a new form anyway. We could talk about that a little bit, but with this movement of spoken word, I would say that it is the response to it in this time is even stronger, I think, than the response was to the rhythm poetry back in that time.
Okay.
I think because it is broader. It seems to be a broader movement in a time where people are more liberal in their thoughts, and the societies are more open and more liberal. Back in our day, we struggled. Remember, we were still coming out of that whole 60s period, the whole period where we were still struggling with identity, struggling with Black power, struggling with independence,
restrictions,
you know what I mean, struggling with all of those things, and therefore we still believed a lot more, or should I say, our creolization was more entrenched and more. We were far more conservative in our thoughts as a people and a community and a region back then than presently.
Okay. I would love to really see the what you call it, Flavius now, a concert.
What's that?
I would love to see a concert with import and outport, you know.
Yeah, man.
Oh wow, yeah, well that'd be beautiful. I mean, I've had some of those experiences. I remember in Toronto in the mid-90s with the first International Dub Poetry Festival. There was a really beautiful cross-fertilization of poets, performance poets. And I try not to call it, because we get trapped in labels, I try not to call it performance poetry. I once had a conversation in a workshop with Derek Walker, and we were trying to describe all of this thing with performance poetry. He was always called performance poetry. Poetry is poetry. All poetry. So, I mean, the poets, we had a really great session where we had a number of Jamaican drum poets and a number of poets from through the diaspora. A number of poets from Canada, Lillian Allen, I remember, amongst others, St. George, Michael St. George, people like Clifton Joseph, and the young Dwayne Morgan, who does it both, you know, spoken word and dub poetry in a mix, in a combination. So yeah, that was a period where we had the Rapso boss from Trinidad, Bear Resistance in there. I was there, Aja was there, you know, a guy from St. Vincent who lived in Canada was there. We did not get LKJ to come across to that session. At the time, the other guy, two other guys across London, the names avoid me right now, but were doing a lot of stuff back in the day. One who actually refused the Queen's MBE, and I know that was really interesting. I can't remember the name of the guy.
He refused it.
A Barbadian father and a Jamaican mother. Okay. Yeah, so there were a number of guys back in the day, you know, who were really dropping some really interesting work as it relates to poetry and having that mix up. Okay.
This Africa, this one I want to play now is what? Africa Repatriation?
No, you played that already. The one you're going to play now is Just Us and Them.
Oh, Just Us and Them. Okay. Let's lick
That's
it
the
down.
one you're going to play now. You played the other two already. Just Us and Them.
That's
yes,
Just
man.
Us. Okay then. Okay.
Yes, man.
All right. We're gonna play the Just Us and Them, and then we come right back to you. Okay? We're
Yes,
not
man.
going nowhere.
It's for real.
No Jesus, no justice, just us and them.
Just
No
us
Jesus, no justice,
and
just
them.
us and them.
Walking in the congregation.
Just us. No Jesus, no justice, just us and them. No Jesus, no justice, just us and them. No Jesus, no justice, just us and them. No Jesus, no justice, just us and them.
So many black bodies subjected to the bullet. Slave catcher's boot protected by the badge. Slapped in the jaw by the hands of the law. No Jesus, no justice. Just
No Jesus, no justice, just us.
So many uprisings. Over 400 years. Knee to the neck like a knife to the windpipe. So many fractures. Justice delayed, the dog is dead. Justice denied, the streets run red. Red, fire.
There's no justice, just us. No justice, just us. Walking in the congregation of the Most High, Most High, Most High. There's no justice, just us. No justice, just us. Walking in the congregation of the Most High, Most High, Most High.
How many more picnics openly on pavements, stuffed into the slave catcher's pocket, red neon black nets from the bowels of the slave ship to the present tense? How much more must we march, Martin? The mountain top is elusive and distant. Where is the promised land?
No Jesus, no justice, just us.
How much more chokeholds, robbery of breath and blackness? We can't breathe. Mama, mama, we can't breathe. By any means necessary, please, we can't breathe. Black Lives Matter.
There's no justice, just us. No justice, just us. Walking in the congregation of the Most High, Most High, Most High. There's no justice, just us. No justice, just us. Walking in the congregation of the Most High, Most High, Most High.
Walking in the congregation, walking in the congregation, walking in the congregation.
Walking in the congregation of the Most High, Most High, Most High.
How many more picnics openly on pavements, stuffed into the slave catcher's pocket, red neon black nets from the bowels of the slave ship to the present tense? How much more must we march, Martin? The mountain top is elusive and distant. Where is the promised?
Boy, I must tell you, the rhythm on this one, bad. The rhythm on this one is good. This is a bad rhythm, my brethren.
Basically, very natural rhythms. We try to keep it pretty natural.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. A big tuba horn. Live sometimes a big tuba horn. Basic djembes. Percussive sound. The conch shell.
Yeah.
Simple, pretty community. We wanted to build a community sound, and I think we have done that. The next stage is to try to do a video of this.
I don't know if you have seen the young lady, the Aisha Commission. Have you know of Aisha Commission?
Yes.
They have a.
Yeah, I know Aisha. Yes.
They have a video out with "I Can't Breathe."
Yes.
Yes.
I Can't Breathe. And when I'm hearing this song, I'm saying this could go with that video. You know, but you got to link up with her and see what we can put together, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Interesting.
link up and so you guys can put together.
Interesting piece of work.
I love it.
So, here we are.
I love it. I love it. We're going to beat it. We're going to start.
Yeah, so yes, man. Yes. So over time, what I'll do is I just stay in touch. People, my handles, you can reach me. We've been marketing that work under the poet I Farrell. I'm kind of rebranding of what I do. So you can reach me on Facebook at the poet I Farrell, or on Instagram as well. I Farrell, or Winston Farrell. You can also follow my full index on Facebook as Winston Farrell as well.
Okay.
On YouTube, you just hit me up. Either Winston Farrell or the poet I Farrell.
I want to know. Can we bring you back one Thursday to do our poetry corner?
His book.
He's already booked. He already booked.
Yeah, I think I'm booked for sometime in February.
11th of February. All right.
Yeah, that's the day before Valentine's or something like that. 11th of February.
Oh yeah. Valentine is that weekend.
That weekend. So can't promise you a lot of love, but I certainly promise a lot of fire.
Yeah, man, a lot of fire. Fire we want. The fire we want. The fire we
love
want.
Fire.
The fire we want.
Okay. Yeah.
Cause the fire will wake them up. The fire will wake them up. The fire we want. A lot of people need to wake up right now. They need to wake up and take a look and realize.
I do a mixed session of some readings and I don't know, maybe we can play some other stuff as well.
Yeah, we look forward to that. Flavius, you have anything to say to I Farrell before we?
No, thank you very much, sir. And I can say, you are powerful. Your stuff. I will get back to you because I think with the poets we are having on the show now, we will be looking to put something together. Something very special together. So I will get back to you when I have some more, when we have really fleshed it out a little bit more.
Yes, man.
But definitely.
When all of this pandemic have passed.
When it's all over.
Yeah, man, we have to bring you out of Jamaica.
We see how it go.
Yeah, we have to bring you out of Jamaica when all of this pass.
Yeah. Give thanks. So just stay safe. We try to stay safe and be good.
Yes, man. Likewise. Until February. Just be safe, my brother.
And give thanks for really waking me up this morning because I know I had to do this morning. I had to clean myself up and get ready for the new year. So thanks for starting my new year.
The pleasure is ours.
Yes, man.
All right, my brother.
All they're listening, I Farrell out. One love and stay safe.
Yeah, man. Likewise. One love, my brother. One love.
Yes, man.
Yes, Flavius. We did it again. I Farrell, my wonderful people. Wonderful indeed. And tomorrow we have a teacher, Miss Deborah Walrand, and she will be joining us tomorrow. Talk about, how school children are coping during this time. Something that I know parents, if you have your kids at home doing virtual classes, you might want to hear this as well. And I know I've been hearing from parents that it's really difficult. Some of them wish that now they appreciate teachers even more. Can you imagine that, Flavius? Teachers are now more appreciated than before because, parents are seeing how hard it is, for them as teachers.
I'm sending you a feedback that I get from Deborah.
Okay.
Just send it to you.
She just sent it? Okay.
Yeah, I just sent it to you.
Okay. Anyway, before we get out of here, we want to thank you, our viewers, our listeners, for taking time out of your schedule and participating with us this morning. We ask that you join us tomorrow when we do it all over again. We have to say Flavius before we leave.
Well, it's the same old thing, you know. You have to just stay safe as people grapple with things like the vaccine and who's to get it and all of these things are happening now. Remember, it's millions of people need a vaccine, so if you probably won't be in the first batch, but if you are taking the vaccine, I mean, you know, but regardless of the vaccine, the idea is that you still have to keep safe, you still have to follow the protocols. You still don't know enough about anything that's happening right now. Only thing we know that if we try and keep safe, put it this way, the thing is not to get the virus. So you have to keep that on the front burner. That is what you need to do. Not get it and not have your family compromised. As I always say, you keep your home sterile. So when you reach home and you do all the necessary things, you can be very comfortable in your home. No mask, you know, you're still going to have the hand washing and all because you always do that. But the key is that you can be comfortable within the house and within the people in your house. It's like you're in your house is a bubble. You have to make your house a bubble. And everything is okay. But when you go out, just work for not getting it. You know, you have to say, okay, everybody have it. So let me do the right thing. No touching and hugging and all these things. And always have your mask on. No matter how uncomfortable it is. Have your mask on. And when you go home, you discard of everything, get your clothes off in the wash, and wash yourself. You put on clean, sterile clothes, and you're okay again. And don't go out if you don't have to. And don't let this stay-home business get to you. It's just getting to a lot of people. Find some way to use up all the energy you have. Use up your phone, man. You have video. You can make video calls.
Hey, Flavor, some of them already do all of that, you know. Trust me. Some of them already do all of that. It's not as easy as we might put it every day, but trust me.
No, it's not. It's not
very
easy.
difficult.
That's why I'm speaking about it, because I know it is not easy. It is definitely not easy.
Because I see the fatigue and students at home too. You know?
Yeah, man. Everybody.
It's not easy.
Everybody. You see, we like the norm, you know. We like to have our routine. And our routine have been totally turned upside down. So we have to get a different routine. But we also have to find things that will keep us.
But you have to put into consideration.
healthy.
We have to put into consideration, sir. We on this side of the world are not like some people on some side of the world, like in Asia, etc., where most of those countries are under, where that's a military rule, autocratic rule, you know, things like that. So those people, whether they want to, be disciplined or not, them have to be. You understand me? On this side of the world, we have a lot of free time.
Now is when you need your good friends, where you can call them up and you can talk, and you can look at them and you can discuss things. And try and not discuss the gloom and doom. Try and discuss, say, this thing will go away and I have to be prepared.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you one of the problems. Let me tell you one of the problems. You see the sports industry, that is the problem.
Yeah.
It is the problem.
Oh yeah.
Because they are providing, they claim they're providing entertainment. But people are saying, why are they getting all these luxury to do these and do all of that? And we can't do it. We have to some people still have to watch them on TV, or Yeah. So, and that's one of the reasons why I think it spiked up back in England and so big, because they allowed 2,000 people, home crowds, to be back in the stadium. You don't know where some of them people that bring come and them way back in or out. So I mean, that's it. Well, with that, we wrap it up until tomorrow. We do it all over again.
Oh yes.
You lead us to full. You belong far away away. Ajugwala lebo buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out the side. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Show the eye clean berries. I said, yeah. I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel I like a thief in the night. May I forget out the side. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Show the eye a clean berries. I say, been there, done that, don't need it again, yeah. I'm not the master, guess who won't play your game, To all you move, you off me way to the core. Sayonara, the hot girl gone through the door. Take away I say.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.